Alright, much brew about nothing time. Playing some 4-color warriors in Modern. And this is a keep. We got a bunch of 1-drops. A pseudo-lord and chief of the edge. Oh, Hedron Crab. This should be interesting. So this is a mill deck? Well, that's Cavern of Souls on warrior. And I think, let's see, this wants what? Red, white, Sacred Foundry. Yeah, I guess we can do that. So, Wild Mikado. Pass the turn. I guess this could be some sort of dredge list, but mill seems most likely. Serum Visions for our opponent. Bottom both. And here comes the milling. They are targeting us, so this looks like a regular mill list. Mill some stuff, passes. Well, let's Marsh Flats, crack Marsh Flats. Sacred Foundry, untapped. Pumps up our Nicodle. So let's get in with our Nicodle. Put our opponent to 17. Woe Reaper. Might as well gain the life. Not that it is all that relevant. Bloodsoak Champion. Well, we got 7 power on the board on turn 2, which is pretty reasonable. And we have a Chief of the Edge for next turn. Opponent does some more milling. They milled double Bloodsoak Champion, which is actually fine because we can get them back from the graveyard. Steam Vents for our opponent. They're going to need some sort of Wrath effect, Sweeper, Anger of the Gods, most likely. More milling. And passes. There's Collected Company. We need one more land for that. Well, Mana Confluence. And then I guess we just Erish and Foremost. Exile a Ambusher. Give them the Coddle Double Strike. I guess the nice thing about this Woe Reaper is it does help make up for all the pain we deal ourselves with our mana base. Attack with everything. Alright, opponent has a Bolt. Takes down Nicodle. And blocks. Interesting. Do they actually have a way? They must have a Sweeper. They must have Red Source Anger of the Gods. I don't know why else they'd block with their Hedron Crab. Unless they think they just have enough mill that it doesn't matter. Tormenting Voice. Discards. Psychic Spiral. Okay. And another Crab. And a Steam Vents. Puts us down to 37 cards. That's Windswept Teeth. Well, Windswept Teeth, crack it. Get a Plains. Do we just dash a Woe Reaper? Yeah, let's just do that. Dash Woe Reaper. Get rid of the Hedron Crab. Gain a life. This does force our opponent to block with Hedron Crab if they don't have another Bolt effect. Alright, they do have a Bolt. So I guess well, they still have to block, though. We have exactly lethal coming across here. So our opponent takes 6, loses Hedron Crab. And we still have Collected Company in our back pocket in case our opponent does find an Anger or something. A way to rebuild. Otherwise, we should be able to just win. So let's just attack with everything. Double Strike. And that does it. Whew. So against Mill, kind of a weird matchup. Probably want Thought Seizes. Maybe Spellskite. Could be bring in Disfigures for the crabs. Actually, Disfigures are probably better than Dismembers. Dismembers don't seem very good. Disfigures does the same. Disfigures do the same thing, but for only 1 mana and no life. And then we just want to be aggressive, or do we even not care about the crab? Do we just want to be as aggressive as possible? Maybe that's what we do. Yeah, let's just take out the removal. Spellskite's fine because it fizzles Lightning Bolt. Thoughtseize. Yeah, let's try that. Alright. This is a decent hand against a mill deck. We got both of our Thoughtseizes, which is pretty fortunate. Will not complain about that. See if they have a crab. We can't kill a crab here because we took out a removal. The other nice thing is we're not especially worried about our life total. I think we want to lead on a creature, though. So, Cavern on Warrior and Wild Nacatl. Pass the turn. Opponent has Flooded Strand. Cracks it. Steam Vents, untapped. Ooh, that's nice. And Sun Droplet. Ugh. That's a bit annoying. Alright, let's Blood Crypt. Untapped. Bramblewood, Paragon. Get in with the Nacatl. Start getting our opponent some counters on Sun Droplet. So our opponent, if you haven't seen this before, every time our opponent's dealt damage, it gets that many counters. And then at the beginning of each upkeep, they get to remove a counter to gain a life. So basically, they gain 2 life every turn cycle. So they can remove another one. We get a Temple Garden. Alright, let's just lead on Thoughtseize. Opponent's got to have a bunch of action. They didn't make a land drop last turn. Visions from Beyond, Tutelage, Anger of the Gods, and Electrolyze. And Engulf the Shore. Let's take Anger. Temple Garden, untapped. Pumps up Nacatl. Chief of the Edge. Opponent cycles Visions. And we get to attack for 7. Put our opponent down to 10. And Electrolyze isn't that scary. It's going to cost our opponent their entire turn to kill Bramblewood Paragon. The nice thing about Paragon, the downside is it has to be on the battlefield to do anything. The upside is it's already given Chief of the Edge the +1/+1 counter. So even if they kill it, we still have a +1/+1 counter. So it's basically the opposite of like Lord of the Atlantis, where you can play it after you've played your 1-drops and give it a bonus, but if someone Doomblades it, then you get nothing. Also, it's nice that it gives trample. Not in this matchup, but in some matchups, the difference between having trample and not having trample is kind of important. Sun Droplet, another Paragon. Well, Marsh Flats, a swing with everything. This is probably going to draw out the Electrolyze, and then we're going to Collected Company and see if we can win. Crack Marsh Flats. Get a... Do we need green mana, I think? Green, white, black, red. I guess it doesn't matter. Get an Overgrown Tomb. And just Collected Company. If we hit Erishan Foremost, we win. That does it. Erishan Foremost, Eldrazi Displacer. Put the rest to the bottom. Wow! Alright. Foremost. Jeez. Well, that's the turn 4 win through a removal spell. Collected Company is so nuts. We're playing some pretty bad warriors, and they're still awesome when we have Collected Company. Alright, that does it. Warriors. I mean, that was kind of a weird matchup, a Tutelage mill deck, but still, we got there on turn 4.